Nothing quite like finding a dinosaur egg.
Creeks. Oh, I see a daggum hutch while we're walking live. Look at that. What is it? Told y'all, that tree's right there. I told y'all. Oh, come on. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Adventure Archaeology. If you're new to the channel, my name is Brandon, and on this channel we search for all kinds of history. Today we're headed out to a local creek to search for valuable antique bottles. So without any further ado, let's go get in the water. All right, I don't know if y'all can see it, but there's something right there. That was a Raola. I can tell by the RO on the bottom, from Birmingham, Alabama. Sadly, it's not whole, but we'll get it out of the creek so nobody will stand on it. I have a lot of people every week ask me, are you not worried about the wildlife that's in the water? And to be honest, there's really only one critter out here that makes me cringe, and that's the snapping turtle. Because they can literally bury themselves to where you can't see them in the stand. And that's the way that they catch fish and stuff. So you might be walking by and stand on them, and I forget how many thousands and thousands of pounds of bite force they have. It's enough you could lose your toes though, especially for the ones that are bigger than a dinner plate, and I've seen them upwards of, I'd say probably around 100 pounds. So that's kind of sketchy. Other than wearing steel toes though in the creek, there's really no way to combat that other than to just be careful and cautious where you step. Basically, I mean, you got to think they have the name alligator snapping turtle. They're just alligators with shells. That's all they are. I know y'all been hearing me talk about the floods, but if you see right there, that's a landslide, and that's an entire tree root base and tree that came off the side of that hill right there. That's the kind of floods that we've been having, if that tells you anything. And that's a big tree. That's a 40, 50, 60-year-old tree that all of a sudden is now in the water. And whenever that falls in the water, it creates like a mini dam, and it redirects the entire current of the creek. When the current redirects, the entire bottom of the creek changes, and that just washes out new good stuff. So is my hopes. Not sure if I've ever told y'all this before. I'm pretty sure that I have, but I was a digger long before I was getting into creeks, and then I fell in love with creeks due to one person. One person turned me on the creeks, and that's Tristan. And Tristan, we'd go digging, and then when we would get through digging, we'd be so hot and sweaty. He's like, all right, guys, I'm headed to the creek. And I always just kind of smirked and thought to myself, he's never going to find anything. And then it never failed. Every week after we would dig, he would go out and he would find just as much in a creek in the nice cool water as we found all day sweating our butts off in the Alabama heat in a 15-foot hole. So at that point, I realized, wow, there might be something to this. And then he took me out on my first creek walk, and we walked together, and he explained where the bottles were catching at, and from there it was just been non-stop creeks. Oh, I see a daggum hutch while we're walking live. Look at that. What is it? Told y'all, that tree's right there. I told y'all. Oh, come on. It's a Dixie Steam. Holy cow. We're just walking steady down through here live, and there she sits. No lip damage. The original stopper's still inside. And this is one of my favorite bottles to find because it has a really cool history. You see the OB on the bottom. That stands for O'Brien's. And O'Brien's was an opera house in Birmingham. So I'm not saying that this was in the opera house, but it's very possible that at one time this bottle came out of the opera house that's long gone now. And that is amazing. Holy cow, guys. We'll take it for sure. So I don't know if you can see through into that bottle, but that rubber seal is still very much intact. And with the limited amount of rash, I think that that was buried for a very long time and was washed out because of that tree falling. So that's your tip of the week right there, guys. Look for trees that have fell, and then look around them very thoroughly. I'm tickled pink about that one. Getting a bird's eye view climbing up on top of this tree that fell to see what else may have been missed or maybe a fresh washout. I typically wouldn't have done this, but when I find a good bottle like that, sometimes there's a concentration of them all in the same area. The one thing I can say is it takes years to learn a creek and where bottles congregate. So just because you know where a creek is doesn't mean that you know where the bottles are in that particular creek. You may have a good general idea, but if you haven't studied it for a very long time, you're not going to be as fortunate as the guy that's been doing it forever. There's a Coke bottle. washed up here on the bar. Let's take a look at it together. Oh, that was just a Pat D from Huntsville. That's different. I don't typically find Huntsville bottles this far south. It's okay though, we'll take it. It's a broken Try Me right here. But what's cool about this one is Try Me's way down here on the hill. It's from Birmingham, so I can actually turn that one into a shot glass. So that's worth carrying out. Another score for the day. All right, there's a broken Coke. Let's take a look at it together. That's going to be a Pat D from Birmingham. Let's see if I can get a date code on it. There it is. It's a 1941. Not quite old enough. The hutch may set the bar for today. We'll just have to see. All right, here's a bottle. It looks new, but you never know till you check it. And yeah, that was an RC Cola of some type. I'm pretty sure you can see Duraglass on the bottom with a date code from 1956. That's really close to where that Coke bottle was. So this is kind of a newer seam right here. We're gonna move away from it and get back into some old stuff, hopefully. It's a beautiful piece right there. My wife will break that up and turn that into some nice earrings. She'll be excited that I got that. And mad that she's not here with me today. This is just kind of a spur of the moment trip. Another nice jewelry piece. At first I didn't know how old it was until I could see the age cracks on it. So that's pretty old. That one's cool because it's got roses on both sides. I'm sure that'll be a set of earrings too. All right, normally I just find the soles to shoes, but this is an entire shoe. Now I'm having a hard time telling how old it is, but it looks like it's got some age on it, or is it just me? Here's an interesting relic. Let's wash it off where y'all can see it. That right there is a very early flashlight. Probably copper, actually, is what it looks like it's made out of. I don't know how old that is. If y'all know how old that is, let me know in the comments below. We're finding a bunch of stuff that I don't know about. So, there again, the shoe and the flashlight. They may not be as old as I think, but they sure do look old. It's amazing how the water can either preserve something or it can destroy it. All depends on if it laid in the bottom and set very still for an extended period of time, or if it just rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled through the years. That's the stuff that has rash. But that's also why I really like whenever it floods around here, because whenever it does, everything that's buried super deep gets moved back to the top, and it's incredibly well preserved. You can always tell the stuff that wasn't buried that you just overlooked because it's usually got like a brown layer of moss and nasty ick on it. But the stuff that's ultra clean is the stuff that hasn't been seen in well over 100 years. This is not the same Try Me. It's another one from Birmingham that's broke, almost identical. But there again, now I'm gonna have matching shot glasses. All right, I see a bottle right down here. I can tell it's broken, but I can't tell what it is yet. Oh, nice. That's gonna be a good drinking glass. That's a Pioneer, and it's in really, really good shape. I hate that the top's gone, but that's okay. It's gonna be a nice upcycle bottle when we're through with it.
All right, I got a bottle right here. Oh, it's broken. Was just a 10, 2, and 4 Dr. Pepper. That's okay though. You never know till you look, right? And I missed that last time I was here, so maybe it's a fresh washout. Just picked these up. I believe that was a Lydia Pinkman's compound. I'm not for sure. They're usually big, have a long neck on them. That was just some kind of food jar. That right there was like a little cathedral bottle. That would have been pretty cool. I wish that would have been whole. You can see the cathedral window shape. And another piece. I'm just starting a little pile right here. That's okay though. Lots of new stuff on this bar. Let's see what we can come up with. Nothing quite like finding a dinosaur egg. Apparently that thing's left over from Easter, but that thing is massive. It must have floated down the creek at some point. I looked over, I was like, what is that? At first I thought it was a jug. I was like, no way. So maybe there's no T-Rexes out here that have hatched. All right, I had to show you all this. Here's the water level. Look right up there. That looks like a soda. Now I gotta figure out how to get over there and get it. But hopefully not finding a snake. Let's see, it's probably gonna be broke after all this too. Oh, sorry about the bad camera work. Ah, it is broken. It's just a Chericola
from Birmingham. So I can't even make a drinking glass out of that because the embossing is way up on the shoulder. That's crazy how it got up there though. If I had to guess, that was somebody else looking for bottles that stuck it in the bank many years ago. All right guys, gonna bore y'all with some YouTube stuff real quick. First off, big shout out to everybody. Huge thanks for breaking 35,000 subscribers, and that is blowing my absolute mind. I've got to tell y'all, it has been a wild ride this year. I had a video take off back in, I guess from December, and that video spooled up to be my biggest video ever, and along the way it drug 3 or 4 other videos along with it, and that's a huge deal for a channel of my size. I've grown really fast, and it's been quite impressive. I've got to say, it's really blown me away. I would have never thought that I would have made it to 35,000 subscribers by July. In all honesty, that would have been my goal for December, but things lined up just right, and I'll take it. YouTube has something called the algorithm, and the algorithm reads different metrics of your videos. One of the things that it reads is user enjoyment. So say, or viewer enjoyment, I should say. So say a viewer really likes your video and they drop a thumbs up, they leave a comment, and then right behind the comment, they watch more than 60% of that video. YouTube picks that video up and they start feeding it to more and more people. And as it feeds it to more and more people, as long as those projections kind of stay the same, they still watch the same amount of time, they still leave comments, they still leave thumbs ups, then it's a huge deal. But YouTube has suddenly started to change its metrics over the past 7 months because a lot of you are starting to watch on your TV. So when you watch on your TV, you're not able to leave a comment. So the videos have changed. So now all of a sudden, you're getting promoted to different spectrums of YouTube. You're getting promoted to the people that are TV watchers, people that are watching you from a Roku or from a streaming device, and it cuts the comments out. And that's okay because they've adjusted the algorithm to allow for fewer comments for a video to be boosted. Now years ago, that wasn't the case, but now it is. But for those of you that are on devices, I want to encourage y'all to, if you have time, I would love for y'all to leave a comment. It still helps the video. It just isn't the largest determining factor. I've been very fortunate to have so many of you support me on these crazy creek adventures. And to be honest with you, they've turned into my favorite thing to do. They far surpass the enjoyment of digging. Even though I may find more digging, the physical work behind it is just, as I get older, getting harder and harder. And this creek walking that I'm doing is just way more enjoyable. So I won't bore y'all anymore. Again, thanks for the 35,000 guys. It means a ton. All right guys, had a pretty good day. I'm going to show you all the standouts for me. This bottle is obviously the standout of the day, especially considering it has no damage. However, I am going to have to perform a rescue mission. There is a snail in there that has been crawling around. I haven't been able to get him out, so I'm going to have to probably push the stopper on down in there to try to get him out. For 2 reasons. To save his life for 1, but for 2, I don't want that bottle to smell bad. These 3 over here are all going to be turned into drinking glasses. Y'all keep an eye on the eBay store. There's always a link in the description. And these 2 really cool pieces right here will be turned into jewelry, and they will be on the eBay store as well. If y'all enjoyed the video, drop a thumbs up. Be sure that you're subscribed, and we'll catch you guys in next week's video.